pledge after the invocation.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for your time, the blessings that you have given each one. We ask you, Lord, to bless this commission as they conduct the business of the parish. Give them wisdom and knowledge, guiding them in all that they do for the people. We ask for your blessings upon our service people wherever they may be. Keep them out of harm's way. Bless them and bring them back home to their families safe. And bless the members of this parish, that they shall grow in love and know that you are their God. All this we ask in thy Son Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. All place the flag and repeat after me.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Demache and Mr. Dominique. Okay, at this time, the commission will sit as the tax board of review, and I'll turn this section over to Commissioner Dominique, who is the chair.
How about Thibodeau?
I'm sorry, Thibodeau.
Oh, I can say, wait, we had our tax committee meet Monday. We had Schlumberger was one, and I believe that we sent it back to the assessor, and I believe y'all were able to work that out.
Yeah, they withdrew their protest.
And then we had two others that didn't show up Monday, and they were the biomedical application of Louisiana and, what was that, Dupar? Dupar. And they, I think y'all have tried to contact them recently.
Contacted them repeatedly and have got no response from them. Now, biomedical, we have talked to them this morning, but they have not looked at their paperwork we sent them. So
they didn't show up at the hearing, and they're not here today, so I guess it's not important to them.
Well, and also, you know, this is the first step. If they wanted to go to the tax commission, all they had to do was set this before y'all, and that was it. They don't have to show. They can keep continuing to the tax commission if they, you know, so please.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Escudé?
Well, then, if that's the case, I move at this time that we oppose the tax assessor's decision on these matters.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Escudé, seconded by who? Commissioner Dominique, that we uphold the tax assessor's action on these matters. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, let's vote. Okay. Thank you.
I should appreciate y'all. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Okay. Are there any agenda additions?
I have one. I would like permission to amend the agenda for new business regarding a proclamation for Constitution Week, declaring Constitution Week September 17th through the 23rd.
Get a second. Second. Moved by Commissioner Dominique, seconded by, who's the seconder? Commissioner Cox, that we expand the agenda to allow a recognition for Constitutional Week by Mr. Dominique. We'll vote, please. Okay, that will be added under new business. We have another agenda addition, Ms. Baker.
Yes, I'd like to ask for agenda addition to allow for support from the board for me to be a candidate for the Region 4 Police Jury Association of Louisiana Executive Board.
So moved.
Second. Okay. Moved by Commissioner Baker, seconded by Commissioner Thibodeau, that we would expand the agenda to allow the recognition of Commissioner Baker to be appointed to the Executive Board of the Police Jury Association. Let's vote, please. Okay, we'll add that item on the new business also. Other agenda addition?
Yes, I have one other.
Okay.
Also like to allow for the board to do a resolution urging the state of Louisiana to take all reasonable steps to assist General Motors in developing and implementing a viable business plan for the continuing operation of the General Motors assembly plant located here in Caddo Parish. Second.
Okay. Moved by Commissioner Baker that we expand the agenda, authorizing the resolution urging the state of Louisiana to assist General Motors in developing a business plan for continuing operation in Caddo Parish, and seconded by Mrs. Lynch. We'll vote on expanding the agenda for that item. Okay, that'll be added to the agenda also. Okay, that takes care of agenda additions. I see no more requests for others. At this time, if there are any citizen in the audience that would like to address this body, please fill out a recognition card in the foyer, get it to myself or the clerk, and you'll be recognized to speak on any item of your concern. Now, this excludes any item that's on the agenda for public hearing. Any item that's on the agenda for public hearing, you'll be recognized at that particular time to speak on that item. Okay. I have no cards here for requesting to speak, so at this time, next item of business, Mr. Clerk.
Have no visitors on the agenda. We move to special resolutions. We have a resolution of recognition from Marty and Crystal Woolridge, Farm Bureau's 2011 Young Farmers and Ranchers Achievement Award winners.
Moved by Commissioner Dominique, seconded by Commissioner Baker. At this time, we will bring the persons forward, and Mr. Thibodeau, you can recognize.
We must all look the same.
Oh, yes, Mr. Dominique. Oh, you on my back.
I'm getting confused today.
All right.
Would commissioners join me in standing in the reading of the resolution? In the name and by the authority of the Caddo Parish Commission, resolution of recognition for Marty and Crystal Woolridge. Whereas the Caddo Parish Commission is always pleased to observe and enjoy the accomplishments of those Caddo Parish sons and daughters who have excelled in their chosen fields and who have gone forth to attain success and distinction in state and national arenas. And whereas Marty Woolridge, who knew as a young child that he wanted to grow up to become a cattle rancher, became the Farm Bureau's top young farmer and rancher on July 7, 2011 in New Orleans, along with his beautiful wife of 2 years, Crystal Woolridge. And whereas Marty has spent years feeding livestock in his family, but he has also worked feeding the soul of the next generations of young farmers and ranchers with his service as statewide Young Farmer and Rancher Chair, President of the Caddo Parish Farm Bureau, and with both Marty and Crystal's service on the Caddo Parish 4-H Board. Now therefore be it resolved by the Caddo Parish Commission, meeting in legal and regular session this 22nd day of September 2001, that it does hereby extend its most sincere expressions of congratulation and appreciation to Marty and Crystal Woolridge upon the occasion of their selection as the Louisiana Farm Bureau's 2011 Young Farmer and Rancher of the Year. Be it further resolved that this Caddo Parish Commission does entreat all citizens of Caddo Parish and Northwest Louisiana to be cognizant and appreciative of the degree to which Marty and Crystal's achievements in combination with their exemplary personal demeanor and character serve to reflect great honor upon their home area, and wish them the best of luck when they compete for the National Young Farmer and Rancher of the Year in Honolulu, Hawaii in January 2012. Signed, Kenneth R. Epperson, Senior President, Doug Dominic, District 1.
Jennifer, can we vote? And Mr. Dominique, you can make the presentation. It's already been moved and seconded, Mr. Pierce.
I blew a Barbara North.
Come to mine.
First of all, Marty and I are sitting there talking because I've known Marty all my life, Todd all my life. I'm trying to figure out where you can't see all these big words, you know.
That's why I don't have an ugly wife. I don't know if you'd mentioned that.
Marty's been farming for as long as I can remember. I know you started back in high school as a rancher. That is just really great for someone who started at such a young age and continue on the tradition that is very important to our area. I myself have been growing up on a farm, even though I was more of a row cropper. There's no harder job in this world than farming, and he should be commended for everything he's done. This is a wonderful, wonderful award that he has received, him and his wife. The other thing is, you know, when we did run for election, Marty, you got the best part. He actually said his wife when he was knocking on the door, campaigning. I can tell you got the best part of the election, okay? Congratulations.
Thanks, Thank you all very much.
Say a few things.
Well, we are very honored. We had no idea that we could compete against those big South Louisiana sugarcane growers and so on and so forth that run thousands upon thousands of acres, and we do run a very sizable operation of cattle up here on the north end. And it is a job that requires many hours, and after a summer like we've been through with no rain, a week ago, before we got this little rain this weekend, I was literally pulling my hair out and about ready to get out of the business. But Crystal and she came into this 4 years ago when I was running against Doug, and met her, and we got married, and she's, fallen right in there and been a huge part of it. But through Farm Bureau, we get to travel and we get to tell our story, and it's very, very important because, as I'm sure y'all have heard before, people don't give much consideration to where that food is coming from when you just go down to the grocery store and buy it. You don't have to worry about who got it to that point. Well, we're part of that. We got it to that point. Doug's family has gotten it to that point. We worry about the future generations. Where is it going to come from? Who's going to keep this going? As told, did an interview for the New York Post the other day, and they said, well, what do you compare this to with this drought? I said, well, what scares me the most, so many people getting out of the business, selling off their herds, getting out of farming. I said, you don't want to become dependent on foreign food as we have become dependent on foreign oil. That would be the worst situation. So I thank y'all for further encouragement to acknowledge us for what we've been able to achieve and what we hopefully will achieve this January in Hawaii. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Martin.
I see you on the board.
Well, I did have one question for you, Marty.
Marty.
One, it's amazing what you can do when you have a beautiful woman by your side. You even look better. And the other thing, I think that was for the young farmers that you all are going.
The Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation, about 150,000 members strong in the state, and we have a parish organization in each parish, which I'm president of here. But Crystal and I, for the past 2 years, chaired the Young Farmer and Rancher Committee. We're very unique. We have a very unique organization that does something for 18 to 35-year-old members to try to bring them up, give them the training, give them a little hope, a little glimmer of hope that they might sit in a seat like this one day. But it's a leadership-based type organization that is sending us places and giving us experiences. I spend once a year, I'm in Washington stumping for farm issues. We'll be back up there in March talking about the farm bill. So it's just an unbelievable deal. It gets those people off the farm. It's an amazing thing to see and meet people that might be 40, 50 years old. And we're, of course, Shreveport and Caddo Parish, we are becoming more of a metropolitan. It's not that big a deal to come in from Oil City to Shreveport. But there's people out here in the state that are 40, 50 plus years old. They've never left that farm. They've never even been to the state capitol. They missed the 8th grade trip somehow. But we do a great job of trying to tell our story and make sure that people understand what we're going through.
Thank you. One thing I'm glad you said, I was trying to figure out what was a cutoff for young. I think you said 35.
It's 35.
Okay.
Almost there.
Hold on, Marty.
You pass out.
Don't take a seat yet. We have 2 more persons.
Congratulations.
That's it, Ms. Lane?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Cox?
The Farm Bureau, does it work with the Caddo Parish School, with the Future Farmers of America organization?
We do. Of course, Crystal and I are very active in the 4-H program, bringing those kids along. I was trying to think. We do a big deal reaching out to the younger children, actually. We have an Ag in the Classroom program, trying to get, in the little heads about where the food's coming from and how it's produced. But we do anything that we can, and especially if we're asked. We have to kind of be asked. We try to see, but we need to be asked to come in and work with those type of organizations.
Because back when I was in high school and I was part of the FFA, it was huge back in those times. I didn't know if it was still a major part of the Caddo Parish school system or not.
I don't believe it's as big as it was. The 4-H, I think 4-H program's about 1,200 or 1,400 kids this year. And there's a lot more kids than that.
So we're losing ground.
Yeah, we are losing ground. But they've expanded. It's not just showing cattle. And I think my 9-year-old niece recently signed up for 4-H, and she's going to do cooking or something like that to get her feet wet in the deal. It's not just crops and cattle. It's 4-H is a huge deal.
Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Baker?
Congratulations on your
Thank you.
appointment. that you all got, but I was just kind of curious as to where the kids are. You kind of answered it when you were talking to Commissioner Cox about where they are. Are they really looking at following after you as being future
No.
farmers? And
No.
and do y'all talk about anything that y'all are going to do for the future?
Well, we're doing all, you do everything you can, and we recently did a program, I'm a graduate of the LSU Agricultural Leadership Development Program, and that's designed for like 25 up. But working through them, we recently did a pilot program with LSU this year, and we mentored high school kids that had interest in agriculture, and I was mentor for Daniel McFarland. I don't know if
Yeah, that's Dr.
Daniel's
McFarland.
in the
Daniel.
papers or on TV all the
All
time. Now Daniel wants to be a doctor, but he wants
he
to
wants to
have
be a
cattle on the
veterinarian.
side, so
Veterinarian.
that somewhat qualifies, I guess.
Like a dad.
But I was talking to them, and I think one of the biggest things we can try to do for the kids is, and especially where they might find someone in our age group, that 25 to 35, say, more approachable, is to show them, look, we're going out here, we're making a go of it. You could do it too. It can be done. It's not impossible. It's not easy. It's not a get-rich type situation, but it's a heck of a lifestyle. You got to love it.
You just do animals, or you do animals and food?
We are a strict cow-calf operation.
Cows.
Yeah, about 500 head of cows on the north side of town.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
you.
Marty, Crystal, we appreciate you, and you all represent Caddo Parish in Louisiana very well, very articulate.
We will take that struggle on in January in Hawaii. We will do that. While y'all are here, Cole.
Suffer through that.
Good deal, bro. Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Next, we move to communiques and committee reports.
Lucky.
Yes, sir, I think that Commissioner Cox had asked for an audit, and that we did get that to you.
Got it, and I appreciate it.
And I don't think we had anything else.
Okay.
Matthew, I'm sorry.
I'd ask that Mr. Dumichet give a report in regard to the FEMA coming yesterday and talking about the levees and the decertification of the levees and the floodplains changing.
Okay.
You are corrected. I'm Mr. Dumichet. I apologize. Mr. Dumichet is ready for that.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Mr. Lynn attended a meeting that FEMA held on yesterday on the 5th floor. Members in attendance with the Cattle Levy Board, the City of Shreveport, mayors from different communities throughout Caddo Parish, Commissioner Lynn, and myself. The gist of the meeting was FEMA's presentation of the new floodplain maps that are coming out. Caddo Parish has been mapped in its entirety, showing all the floodplains, even inside the communities of Belcher, Ida, Rodessa, All City, Vivian. So now we have the ability to look at anybody's property and tell you whether you are or not in a flood zone. The impact of this meeting, some of the floodplains grew, some of them decreased. But we're almost ready to enter the 90-day review comment period where citizens will be able to come in and want to know how the new flood maps are affecting their properties. The impact that these new flood maps are having is that all the levees within Caddo Parish that are maintained by the Caddo Levy Board will have to be recertified. If they're not recertified, then there's going to be a drastic change to the people who are protected currently by a levy system, which means the levy board has made the decision that they're going to certify levies from the downtown airport south. They have not made any decision whether they're going to certify from the airport north, which means there could be a drastic impact on the citizens north of the airport, which means that they are currently protected. Doesn't mean that the levies are going to be removed, but they may not be certified, and which will impact the citizens. I'm quite sure your citizens will be calling you to want to know more information. If they need information, they can contact me in Public Works Department, and we can talk with them and let them know the information they need. But They will make announcements in the Caddo Citizen and the Shreveport Times when the new maps are being presented. And we are talking with individuals now to schedule public meetings in the north, the south, and central part of Caddo Parish, to where citizens will be able to come in. Talking with Ali, the engineer for the city of Shreveport, we're planning on setting up a computer in the main lobby near the security officer's desk, where citizens can come in, type in their address, and see how the new maps is going to affect them. But we're a few months out from that. Chances are we won't see the preliminary maps until somewhere around January.
That it, sir? Okay, are there any questions of Mr. Demiche relative to that report? Okay, thank you, sir.
I'm on several people.
Well, no, you want to communicate. Well, let's back it up. We have Mr. Lynn about the communiques.
Got a question.
Okay, Mr. Demiche?
Yes.
Okay, right. Okay. Ms. Lynch, you want to communicate? Okay. Let's start out with Mr. Lynn, Mr. Johnson, and Mr. Smith.
Is there a camera that can focus on this card? I think I've seen them do that before, if they really can jump on it. Anyway, this is riskmap6.com, RISKMAP, the number 6.com, and that is the website that you will go to that you can look at to see if your address is on there. Now, this is not a hardcore tonight mapping system, and I suggest getting with Mr. James Dumache to make sure that you get it correct. And we're going to have two meetings at the top of the parish and the bottom of the parish. I met with some people associated with the levy board on yesterday after this meeting. They said that to certify the levies from the downtown airport to the south of the parish was $600,000. The quote that they had to do to certify the levies from the downtown airport to Arkansas was an additional $500,000. And of course, if they do it right now, of course, it's going to be $1.1 million. However, if they have to come back at a later date and bring all their equipment back to certify, then of course the cost is going to be higher. I haven't had a chance to meet with the commissioner from that area in regard to the reasons for not certifying the whole levy. I guess there must be some reasons, though I can't think of what they are. And I'm very interested to hear that. Another card that I want to show up. This is a lady that you can contact. This is Cindy Crouch from Denton, Texas, and she is a representative from Dewberry and Davis LLC, who is the lead project manager for this particular case going on. I guess y'all can shoot this again, can't you? Or did y'all already do it and I didn't see?
Yeah, they
did? Okay. And if anybody has any questions about anything that I saw at the meeting, you're welcome to call me on my cell, 402-1132. Thank you. That's all.
Just a point of information, Mr. Lynn. That information you just gave, we can get it to IT, and they can put it on our website.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we have Mr. Johnson that has a question relative to the FEMA.
My first question is, you mentioned from the airport north that they wasn't going to certify that initially, and Matthew just mentioned that it's going to be about $500,000. Who's responsible for paying that $500,000?
Currently, right now, the responsibility for certifying the levy rests with the Caddo Levy Board.
Okay, and the second question I had, Matthew kind of answered that. You had mentioned that the residents could come down here and put in the address and then see if they're actually in the floodplain. My question was, can they actually do that at home as well?
Yes, sir, they can. That riskmap6.com, they can go in. That is a site that is being set up. It's not fully operational yet because the new maps have not been presented. let me make it clear right now, these maps are coming. Right now, we're still operating under the maps that are dated 2000 and 2004. And those are the maps that, when someone needs to get flood insurance, those are the maps that will be used until the commission finally adopts whatever new maps. We have a 90-day appeal period, and during that appeal period, if we have any scientific data to argue against, we say the base flood elevation is too high. Just because Granddaddy said it's never flooded here for 40 years, that's not good enough. We're going to need some hydrology information, data to back that up.
Thank you.
That's it, Mr. Johnson?
Thank you.
Okay, I think that takes care of all the concerns relative to the, Mr. Dominique.
Yeah, I was talking to Mr. Lucky. I kind of came aware of some of this yesterday, but obviously we're going to have to go back and talk to the levy board. I've already had some of the city local mayors email me about concerns. You're talking about
mayors that were not too happy.
and I don't know if the levy board was aware of, if this is not certified, how much this is going to cost the citizens in insurance and
They know.
Premiums.
They know.
The levy board does know that?
Yes, sir.
We're going to have to sit down and talk to them, because what you were saying is they have initially said they were not going to do the northern part of the parish. Is that
They
what you
said that decision has not been made yet, but so far they have only looked and discussed with the engineering firm that downtown airport south. They are still in discussions about the airport north.
Okay. And does anybody know, Matthew, when you were talking about them coming up here to do the certification, it was going to cost more? When are they planning on doing the initial certification?
They have started, they have got some of those mayors that called you.
Yes.
They had to sign the papers on.
Well, I know, but the study or whatever you were talking about.
They're waiting on Mayor Glover's signature yesterday. They had everybody else's signature, and they were waiting on Mayor Glover. That they hopefully have that already, and they needed that for, I think, for the 2-year appeals process.
You said something about some equipment or something, if it was going to cost more, that the
to do the survey, yes.
survey was at $500,000, but it was going to cost more, so...
The cost of certifying the levy from the downtown airport, if I may speak out of turn or without being recognized.
He directed the question to
Okay,
you.
thank you. The cost of certifying the levy, it's my understanding, I was told this by a reliable source, from the downtown airport to the south of the parish is $600,000, that is the cost for certifying, that the levy board is paying for. The quote that they have from the same company is that if they certify the levy from the downtown airport north to the Arkansas border, that it will be, if they do it while they're here, it'll be an additional $500,000. Now, if they leave and get called back 2 years later, it's going to cost more. The reason that I was told that they were not sure if they wanted to certify it or not was that there was no chance of it breaching, that the levy was not, that it had no fatality impact. They did not mention the fact that people's flood insurance is going to go up 70%. And the way I see it, the way that the parish has such a strong stake in this is that if everybody's home insurance or their flood insurance, if they're required to have it, goes up 70%, then the value of their home then goes down a certain percentage, and then Caddo Parish and everybody that receives taxes from Caddo Parish then receives less revenue in the property tax. Because if the house is worth less, then we get less taxes on it. And so there's a financial trade-off where we lose and the citizens lose both, the way I see it, if the levy is not certified from tip to top, tip to tail. That's all.
I understand. I would just simply say that you and I and Mr. Wilson need to meet in the near future to try to discuss what we can do to convince the importance to the levy board of this issue, because it really could cause...
I'll assure you, Mr. Dominic, we'll have that meeting.
Thank you.
Mr. Dominic, what we need to also understand is that currently the levies are shown on the flood maps. If this PAL agreement is not certified or the levies are not recertified with FEMA, the levies technically are not going away, but they will not show up on the new flood maps. And anyone living in that area will be rated as if that levee was not there, which means currently if your flood insurance is $309 a year, you can almost double that, if not triple it. And the levee board has already started. The engineering firm is already currently doing some drilling and testings of the levees as we speak.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else relative to the FEMA?
I
think he finished. That's it? Okay, now thank you, Mr. Demiche. Now we go to communiques and reports from commissioners. We have Ms. Baker, Ms. Lynch, and Commissioner Smith. You can remove Mr. Lynn, Jennifer, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to report on two things. First, the National Association of County Community and Economic Development Conference that I just attended was a very informative conference on updating on HUD and the projects that HUD have. I know we don't do a whole lot of housing, and they were mainly focused a lot on the home and how much the CDBG funds are being cut and how much that they support in our communities. But one of the things that that does affect us is how we have a lot of emergency solutions here in the state of Louisiana, and how the CDB funding is one of the main fundings that help with the emergency solutions. So they're asking, as they always do with cuts from CDBG, if we would call our United States congressmen and United States senators and ask them not to cut the CDBG funding. And also at this conference I saw a lot of projects that were done as far as economic development and community development, and a lot of it was done with the partnership of the county and the city as well. So it's very informative, and especially looking at transformations of different areas and projects that were done. That was a very informative conference. And also today we had our Economic Development Committee meeting, and it was a very good committee meeting because of the fact that a resolution through the committee was passed that we go ahead and move forward with getting closer to making the decision to come together with a partnership with the City of Shreveport and the Economic Development Department. So I'm very proud of the fact that it's been a little long haul. There have been some months, a lot of meetings and a lot of discussions, but we're almost there. So it was a very good meeting, and thank you all so much for the attendance today. That's it.
Ms. Lynch?
Yes, we have already recognized September as National Preparedness Month at our last meeting, and you all may remember the earthquake that happened in D.C. as well as some other natural disasters that have happened, where the tendency is for people to pick up the cell phone and try to get in touch with their loved ones and their family members to see if they're okay. Well, an organization called Safe America has joined with local Homeland Security agencies as well as the National PTA and local governments to encourage using texting as the first line of communication either during an emergency or immediately after an emergency, to use the letters, "Are you okay?" And then that person in turn would type in "I'm okay" on their phones. And what they're finding is that even when you can't get through on a cell line, some of the texts are getting through a lot faster. And so I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention and to encourage everyone for more information to go to their website, www.safeamerica.org, to begin using those texting drills with your family and friends. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Smith?
As some of you know, the Natural Resource Committee had a meeting today and heard a presentation from Wholesale Water Company of their interest in doing the parish-wide water system. And as you also know, the ordinance 5127 for $600,000 is on our agenda today. The committee still recommends we retain that ordinance and go with Shaw Group, who we've been talking to for so long. So that is on the agenda today, and we hope you will approve it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. We have Ms. Lynch again.
Yeah, I had a question. What ordinance is that?
5127. It's on your sheet. For introduction.
Oh, for introduction. Okay. The question I had was, on professional services, is there a limit on that from the administrative standpoint that it kicks to the commission, or is it just unlimited on professional services?
I think Charles, I think I'll refer to you.
There's no limit. There's no stated limit that's been adopted by ordinance or anything like that, Commissioner.
Do we have anything in place that says if it goes over a certain limit that it goes to a bid? Or, I mean, can the administration, basically enter into a multi-million-dollar?
It's a professional service contract, so it can be
unlimited
without a competitive bid process.
I'm sorry, what you say?
Ma'am.
I didn't hear you.
I'm sorry, since it's a professional service, it can be let without going through a competitive bid process.
What would determine whether something is professional services versus being let out for a bid? Or what are the parameters on deciding which is which?
The public bid law in Louisiana is a little narrower than some people say it is or think it is. It's really limited to the construction of public works and the purchase of materials and supplies, and there's separate limits for both of those categories. But generally speaking, if what's being sought by a public body does not fall into the category of either the construction of the public works or the purchase of materials and supplies, then the bid laws don't apply.
Okay, let me ask, because I just want to make sure that we're not using this to circumvent the public bid law. I mean, at what point, it's a pretty large contract that's basically just being handed to one entity.
It is a large contract, and there's certainly arguments can be made that you could have a formal RFP process or something like that, but there's no legal requirement for competitive bids. The parish issues other significant in size professional services contracts, particularly engineering contracts on our paving projects and that sort of thing. So I don't know that this is an unprecedented contract in terms of scope, but it's in size, but it's certainly significant.
With Advantage Caddo or any other, or is there anything that ensures that not public, but local companies will be able to have participation? I'm just trying to figure out where those guarantees, where those...
There are none. There are none. In the bid laws, which as I previously stated don't apply here, there are some preferences for providers in Louisiana, but there's nothing that states a preference for like a provider domiciled in Caddo Parish. There's nothing about that in the law. If you go on an RFP basis, then that's a factor that you can put into an RFP.
Okay, thank you. I would like to get a copy of some information on any, public professional services contracts over $100,000 that we've done. Thank you.
Okay. Over what time period, Commissioner? Over the last couple of years, or
last few years?
Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Next, we have the President's report.
Okay. This morning at 10 a.m. we held a press conference here in the Commission chamber relative to the status of the General Motors plan. I'm sure you all heard the situation. It appears that right now General Motors does not plan to continue the Caddo Parish facility in operations. However, based upon the agreement with Racer Trust, who is the owner of that property, which General Motors leases it from for the operation that they are currently undergoing, is in June of 2012 they can give notice and they can have 90 days. So that means the closure date could be up to September the 30th of 2012. Also, if need be, the contract can be extended to December the 31st of 2013. However, we have not given up yet. We have not gotten any definitive answer directly from General Motors that's saying, no, Caddo Parish, we will not operate the plant. All we have heard is basically what the newspaper had reported and the media had reported. So I think we certainly deserve the opportunity from the GM hierarchy to let us know personally and direct what their intentions are with that plan. So that's the reason that we have a resolution that's on the table today. We also had by speakerphone Bill Racer with the Racial Trust LLC, which holds the property in General Motors. He addressed the media through there, so he will be coming to Caddo Parish within a 2-week period of time, and we'll be looking at situations in the worst case scenario, if the plan is to close, what their perspective will be in marketing and getting a sale and getting a tenant for that particular facility. We also agreed to get with all of the collaborative vendors that support the General Motors operation, meet with their management and let the employees know what services will be provided by state and local government organizations as to retraining and things of that nature. We don't want them to wait until April of next year or May of next year to think about some other options. So we're trying to be proactive in that vein also. Also on October the 3rd at 2:00 p.m., Mr. Lucky, I'd like to meet with a community group that has some issues relative to streets within their area. A 2:00 meeting in one of the conference rooms. And I would like for Mr. Robert Glass, Mr. Jimmy Whittington, and a representative from legal to be in that meeting also. On October the 6th at 6:00 p.m. at the Bill Cockrell Recreational Center on Pines Road, there will be a public meeting for the residents of District 12, West Shreveport, and West Caddo Parish. So we will update all of the citizens about the status of our oil and gas drilling pipeline operations within that particular district, seeing as how we're coming to the end of the year, so people have tax issues and they learn about fracking and what's the status of wells in those positions.
Did you say the Bill Cockrell?
Right, the Bill Cockrell Center on Pines Avenue, Recreation Center. Okay, that ends my report, Mr.
Next, we move to adopt the minutes of the regular meeting held on September the 8th, 2011.
So moved. Second. Moved by Commissioner Pierce and seconded by Commissioner Johnson to adopt the minutes of the regular meeting held on September the 8th. Seeing no request for discussion, we'll vote, please. Those minutes are adopted.
Next, we move to public hearings on zoning ordinances. Zoning case P611 in regard to ordinance 5123, 9400 block of St. Vincent Avenue. Request to rezone property located on the northwest corner of St. Vincent Avenue and East Mount Zion Road from RA Residential Agriculture District to I1 Light Industry District for proposed office or warehouse.
Is there anyone present here today to speak in favor of zoning case P611? Anyone present to speak in opposition? Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Zoning case P811 in regard to ordinance 5124. Request to rezone property located on the west side of Mansfield Road, 200 feet north of Old Mansfield Road from RA Residential Agriculture District to I1 Light Industry District for proposed trucking company office and storage.
Anyone present here today to speak in favor of zoning case P811? Anyone to speak in opposition? Okay.
Zoning case P1011 in regard to ordinance 5125. Request to rezone property located on the east side of Linwood Avenue, 200 feet south of Mount Zion Road from RA Residential Agriculture District to B3 Community Business District for proposed office and warehouse.
Anyone present today to speak in favor of zoning case P1011? Anyone here to speak in opposition? Okay.
That concludes the public hearing on the zoning ordinance. We move to public hearing on ordinances. Ordinance number 5126 of 2011, declaring certain adjudicated properties to be surplus and to authorize the parish administrator or designee to sell parish's tax interest.
Is there anyone present today to speak in favor of ordinance number 5126 of 2011? Anyone here to speak in opposition? Next order, please.
Concludes the public hearing on ordinances. We move to zoning ordinances for final passage. Ordinance number 5123 of 2011 in regard to zoning case P611, Request to rezone property located on the northwest corner of St. Vincent Avenue and East Mount Zion from RA to I-1.
So moved. Moved by Commissioner Cox. Second. Seconded by Commissioner Pearson. Seeing no request for discussion, we'll vote on the ordinance, please. That ordinance passes.
Ordinance number 5124 of 2011 regarding zoning case P811. Request to rezone property located on the west side of Mansfield Road, 200 feet north of Old Mansfield Road from RA to I-1.
Move to approve.
Moved by Commissioner Smith, seconded by Commissioner Johnson. Seeing no request for discussion, we'll vote, please. Ordinance number 5124 passes.
Ordinance number 5125, 2011. Request to rezone property located on the east side of Linwood Avenue, south of Mount Zion Road, from RA to B3.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Cox.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Dominique. Seeing no request for discussion, we'll vote on the ordinance, please. Ordinance 5125 passes.
I move to regular ordinances for final passage. Ordinance number 5126, declaring certain adjudicated properties to be surplus and to authorize the parish administrator designate to sell tax interest.
Move to pass.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Lynn, seconded by Commissioner Pearson. Seeing no request for discussion, we'll vote, please. Ordinance number 5126 passes.
Ordinance for introduction by title. Ordinance number 5127, amending the budget of estimate revenues and expenditures for the oil and gas fund and capital outlay fund in the amount of $600,000 for a utility district water study. Ordinance number 5128, amending the budget of estimate revenues and expenditures for juvenile justice fund in the amount of $40,000 for a truancy program. Ordinance number 5129, amending the budget of estimate revenues and expenditures for the juvenile fund in the amount of $28,000 for a juvenile court program titled Facts of Life. Ordinance number 5130, amending and reenacting Chapter 2, Section 3 of the Caddo Parish Code of Ordinances regarding the application fee for the sale or donation of adjudicated property. Next, we move to work session minutes. We need to ratify the September 19th.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Lynch, seconded by Commissioner Johnson, that we ratify the work session minutes of September the 19th. Seeing no request for discussion, we'll vote, please. Those minutes are ratified.
Next, we move to resolutions. Resolution number 43 of 2011, approving the issuance of not exceeding $2,100,000 of certificates of indebtedness, Series 2011, of Communication District Number 1 of Caddo Parish, Louisiana, and providing for other matters in connection herewith.
So moved.
Second. Moved by Commissioner Pearson, seconded by Commissioner Dominique.
I just had a question.
Under discussion, we have Ms. Baker.
What, I didn't know what this, I wasn't here Monday. What is this for?
911.
911, Ms. Martha Carter at the 911 Communications Center. They're doing an upgrade on their building over there.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. We'll vote on the resolution, please. That resolution passes.
Resolution number 44, approving borrowing of $137,120 by North Caddo Hospital Service District.
So moved. Moved by Commissioner Dominique, seconded by Commissioner Bowman. Seeing no request for discussion. Okay, that resolution passes.
Move to new business. First, we have resolution number 45 of 2011, a resolution urging the state of Louisiana to take all reasonable steps to assist General Motors in developing and implementing a viable business plan for the continuing operation of General Motors Assembly Plant located in Caddo Parish.
So moved. Second.
Moved by who? Who moved?
Commissioner Baker.
Pardon. Commissioner Baker moved.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Lynch.
I need some soup.
Seeing no requests, we'll vote. All right, the resolution passes.
Next, we have confirmation of resolution endorsing and supporting the candidacy of Caddo Commissioner Lindora Baker as Region 4 member of Police Jury Association of Louisiana Executive Board.
So moved.
Second. Moved by who? Commissioner Lynch, seconded by Commissioner Cox. Seeing no call for discussions, we'll vote. That passes. Okay.
The confirmation of a proclamation recognizing Constitution Week.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Dominic, seconded by Commissioner Bowman. Ms. Lynch, on the
You
discussion?
should have. I want to clarify, I did check, this is not the Tea Party's version.
Okay.
That's good to know.
It's also around Obama's president.
Can I make a speech?
Okay, go ahead, Mr.
I did get
Dominic.
a call from a local DAR chapter, and they were wanting this done. I know that, I think that Mayor Glover had issued one too, so just thought it was nice that we, recognize our Constitution, and this is Constitution Week.
Before we close out, is that it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have Mr. Grubb that would like to make a clarification on the statement that he made. Yes, we vote.
I didn't vote.
Vote on it.
Here, yeah.
Put it up and let's revote. Mr. Cox. Now, Mr. Lynn, okay. All right. Is that you, Mr. Grubb?
Yes, sir. I
Okay.
just want
One
to,
moment, please.
I want
Go
to
ahead.
correct or amplify on an answer that I gave Commissioner Lynch to a question about the professional service contract on the water district. I'm told that this probably is the largest professional service contract that the parish has contemplated giving. I mean, we give the contracts that we do, for example, for solid waste hauling, they are not competitively bid because it doesn't fall within the ambit or the reach of the state bid laws. Haley pointed out to me that the audit contract that we do, that y'all let every year, of course, that's a professional services contract, that's about $100,000. I think the hauling contract is $200,000 or $300,000 every year, but the point is, my information, unless Mr. Glass is going to get up and change something, is that this $600,000 contract that y'all are contemplating doing would be perhaps the largest professional service contract that you've got. Is that still correct?
And let me just...
There's at least a couple of others that I thought of. It's vegetative maintenance is also a professional service,
How much is that?
and it's around, it's a multi-year, I want to say 200, let's say 250. The hauling contract is around 280, and we have recently had a engineering contract for a road project that was in the $200,000 range too. But those are the only ones I can think of.
Mr. Glover, can you just send me in writing about the public bid, what falls under that? When a public bid or RFP has to be done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
That it, Mr.?
So that is it.
Okay.
Move to adjourn.
All right, we adjourn.